Urgen Julio Martínez, Julito corners Zapatero in the National Court. He points him out as the direct link with Plus Ultra and pay attention to Delcy Rodriguez. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to a new edition of Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez. Julio Martínez Julito, the businessman, a friend and alleged frontman for Zapatero, has already testified in the Plus Ultra case before the National Court Judge José Luis Calama, and he certainly did not disappoint. He has identified Zapatero as the direct link with Plus Ultra, and also pay attention to Delcy Rodriguez, who was Venezuela's former second-in-command under Nicolás Maduro's regime. A very bleak legal outlook for Zapatero. We'll expand on the recent National Court hearing, displaying the details on screen. Also, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the Medidas Cautelares channel with Miguel Ángel Pérez. We're approaching 42,000. 42,142 subscribers, no more, no less. So remember to hit the bell. That way, every time we upload a video, you'll get notified. And now we're going to have it on screen. There you have it, this breaking news. Julio Martínez, Julito, points to Zapatero as the direct link with Delcy Rodriguez and Plus Ultra. And let's pause for a moment and reflect on this. Because of course we talk a lot about Victor Daldama here, we talk about Julito. Well, we have to say that Julito, Daldama, yes, Victor Daldama, without his lawyer, José Antonio Choclan, would he have ended up cooperating with the justice system the way he has? Well, Julio Martínez Julito also wouldn't have started cooperating with the justice system if it hadn't been for his lawyer. The person you see on screen is the lawyer María Dolores Márquez de Prado. So, we also have to appreciate the work of the lawyers in reaching those agreements with the prosecutor's office, with the justice system, to clarify the criminal acts. As I said, we wouldn't have Dama without Choclan, and we wouldn't have Julito Martínez without Márquez de Prado. Now that we've made that point, let's take a closer look at this breaking news. Julio Martínez Julito has testified before Judge José Luis Calama of the Central Court of Instruction No. 4 of the National Court that it was the former Prime Minister, José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero, who put him in contact with the airline Plus Ultra, which the government bailed out with that amount of 53 million euros, and also with, pay attention, Zapatero put Julito in contact with the former number 2 of Nicolás Maduro's regime in Venezuela and current Executive Vice President Delcy Rodriguez. The defense of the payer and friend of the former president of the government, led by the lawyer María Dolores Márquez de Prado, whom we just mentioned, submitted a document this Monday to the investigating magistrate, Judge Calama, in which it was highlighted that the businessman would answer questions from all parties, including the public prosecutor's office and the private prosecution, led by the PP and the lawyer Alberto Duran. The document emphasized Martínez's willingness to cooperate and contribute to clarifying the facts under investigation and put on the table two pieces of information that seemed especially relevant to me. First, it confirmed that indeed Zapatero had agreed to a 1% commission for pushing through the Plus Ultra bailout from Pedro Sánchez's government through CEPI, which means Zapatero would have received with that 53 million bailout about 530,000 euros. And also Julio Martínez, in that statement we mentioned yesterday, said directly that indeed Zapatero knew before the government approved it that the airline was going to be bailed out. How did he know? Well, that's the big question. How could he have known? It doesn't make any sense, does it? How did he actually come to know that the Council of Ministers was going to bail out Plus Ultra 11 days later? Well, that's one of the big mysteries that will have to be asked of Zapatero when he testifies in court again. According to what Libertad Digital has learned, the frontman for the former socialist leader has pointed to him as the root of all his dealings. In fact, contrary to what Zapatero stated, who said he had not had any dealings with the airline and did not know its owners, not until after the bailout. Julio Martínez has identified the former socialist leader as the person who put him in contact with Julio Martínez Sola, president of Plus Ultra. You already know that Julio Martínez Sola, who is the other Julio Martínez in this case, also submitted yesterday, together with Julito, in a separate document, another statement in which the facts were acknowledged and cooperation with the justice system was offered. So Zapatero is getting cornered, but also left alone. According to this statement, Zapatero would have been the mastermind behind the efforts for the company to receive the €53 million bailout from the State Industrial Holdings Company, SEPI. Just like with his dealings in Venezuela. In fact, Julio Martinez has stated that he spoke with Delcy about these very matters and that he knew her thanks to the efforts of the former Prime Minister. In this regard, Julio Martinez has denied knowing what action Zapatero took to secure the bailout. He said he could take action and that his presence mattered in Spain and Venezuela as Zapatero's representative. In this context, Judge Calama has described him as the go-between for the former Prime Minister. In addition, the magistrate asked him to be more specific in his answers, which, according to sources consulted, were too generic. The alleged frontman for Zapatero has requested that they provide him with the schedules so he can be more specific, something that could not be provided in the courtroom during this appearance, which lasted about 4 hours, including a half-hour break. In the same session, Julio Martinez answered the incisive questions from Calama, as well as from the public prosecutor and his defense, deciding not to respond to the private prosecution. As was already stated in the written document, Julio Martinez acknowledged the agreement with the airline so that a fee equal to 1% of the bailout amount would be charged. Martinez did not specify his share or how much went to the former Prime Minister, though he noted key analyses to his other companies such as El Cauce so that Zapatero could be paid for his efforts. And this is the information we have just shared with you here on Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez. And of course, as I said, it leaves Zapatero completely cornered because now he will have to answer the next time he goes to testify before the National Court. It's unclear if it's due to the jewelry issue he promised to testify about, but hasn't yet. But he will indeed have to give explanations before the court for everything that Julio Martinez has said. And now, Zapatero's strategy is falling apart because, of course, Zapatero's strategy was to try to nullify the evidence. The device seized by the United States from Rodolfo Reyes, who was one of the executives of Plus Ultra, which Judge Calama took into account with the UDEP reports, where all those messages from that device were collected. Of course, Julio Martinez has already said it in court, so there is no longer any possibility of trying to throw out the messages from the device because Julio Martinez has already confirmed everything in court. And this is the information we have just shared now. The former Prime Minister, José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero, is cornered after the businessman Julio Martinez Julito, his alleged frontman and friend, has testified before the National Court. He stated that Zapatero was his direct link with Plus Ultra and also with the former number 2 of Nicolás Maduro's regime, Delcy Rodríguez. Zapatero was aware of everything, knew about everything, and participated in everything. That's why he got that illegal 1% commission from the €53 million that the Plus Ultra bailout cost. In exchange for the government of Pedro Sánchez approving that bailout. Zapatero would have collected around €530,000 in commission. And this is the relevant information, speaking of relevant analysis that we're laying out here. Of course, things are getting complicated, and very much so for Zapatero, who is left fatally wounded. At the judicial level, after this statement, after this confession in court, from the man who was his right hand in the Plus Ultra case, Julio Martinez Julito. And that's it for this edition of Medidas Cautelares. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, you already know that you can leave your comments, your opinions, and share the video with whoever you want. You also already know that you can support this community if you become members, subscribers of course, so we can soon reach 142,000. And as members, as the chosen ones, for less than €4 a month, or as the supreme ones, for less than €8 a month, you can also make contributions via Bizum at 627-556-370, 627-556-370. They are coming in really handy to prepare what's coming next season, which I'm totally focused on. And I can already tell you that you're going to love them. What's new for the upcoming season of Medidas Cautelares, which will start in September after the August break? The most important thing, as I always tell you, is that this information reaches everyone because information is power. See you soon.